The police officer, Betty Shelby, who shot and killed a man in Tulsa, Oklahoma, has been charged with first-degree manslaughter, according to the district attorney. And according to the Tulsa County investigator investigating the case, quote, Shelby reacted unreasonably by escalating the situation from a confrontation with Mr. Crutcher, who was not responding to verbal commands and was walking away from her with his hands up, becoming emotionally involved to the point that she overreacted. Although Mr. Crutcher was wearing baggy clothes, Officer Shelby was not able to see any weapons or bulges indicating a weapon was present. For those of you wondering what kind of consequences come along with a first-degree manslaughter charge, according to the Heavy, first-degree manslaughter is a felony with a minimum penalty of 4 years in prison, according to Oklahoma state law. The maximum penalty is life. It is also an 85% crime, which means a person must serve 85% of the sentence before becoming eligible for parole.
So just like what we're going to complain about, and we have complained about with bankers, like this is one way you make a difference, right? I mean, you quickly react and you prosecute cops when there is an ability to do so. And I imagine that at some point cops will think, hey, I don't really want to go to prison, and I'm sure somebody's rolling on this.
So you would think that, right? Now, I was seeing Michael Wood tweeting, the cop from Baltimore, he's been on the show.
Oh yeah, right.
He disagrees with that, which blew me away. You know, he was like, no, that wouldn't make a difference. He was having a Twitter conversation with Jordan.
That prosecuting doesn't make a difference?
That's what he was saying. And they got into kind of a heated little bit of a debate over it. And I don't know.
Why did he say it wouldn't make a difference?
He said he didn't really give that much of it. He just said, I'm a specialist in this. I studied it all my life. That's not what's going to make the difference. I was like, well,
it may be. I mean, it may be that it's, Cenk and I used to argue way back about the death penalty, right? And, this is one of the arguments. I like this because it's one of the ones where I know I was right. But you used to say that you heard the evidence about a deterrent, and you'd be like, yeah, but if that deterrent were quick, the statistics would flip and it would be effective. Yeah. And I would say, I don't think people in the middle of committing a violent crime think about the consequences. And so maybe what Michael Wood is saying, right or wrong, to that argument is, that's too far ahead to think when your emotions are so heated in that moment, and so training is more important than...
It's counterintuitive to think that prosecuting them quickly wouldn't change the culture.
I mean, regardless of whether it changes the culture, at least for the person who's looking for something in return, some kind of justice, prosecuting and finding someone guilty in a court of law at least makes me feel better about that particular situation. Yes. And in concert with other systematic changes would go a long way.
So Michael Wood's a great guy, and I interviewed him, and you should watch that on TYT interviews because he tells us how cops actually work in Baltimore and across the nation. He had that great opening line, did you think black people were lying for hundreds of years about the cops, right? And he's a white guy, so check out the interview. But, I think maybe he's referring to, and, we could talk to him again about it to get his full thoughts, but that he was saying, like, if you got military training, you pause a lot more. If you get cop training, you don't pause as much. And in fact, I later read that in a different article from someone else who'd gotten police training. Oh, it was the guy, there was a hero cop who did not shoot in an instance. That was 2 weeks ago I did that story, because he'd also gotten military training and knew, hey, let's assess the situation, because if you're in the middle of Afghanistan and you're shooting everybody, then they're going to start shooting back and you've got a mess, and that's not how you handle things. That guy, that was such a tragic story. He didn't shoot. The other two cops come, they shoot. They kill the guy they didn't have to kill. It turns out the gun wasn't loaded. Turns out, yes, he had a mental issue, etc. And then they fired the good guy cop for not shooting. It was unbelievable. So, those are some of the... So if you got the wrong training, maybe Michael is saying it doesn't really matter what happens later because you're going to react like this, and that's really the core of the problem. And in this case, I'm glad that there's justice coming. I don't. This might come across as really, really weird, but I feel bad for everybody in this story, including Betty Shelby, who's the officer. Like, I shouldn't feel bad for her. She 100% did the wrong thing, as far as we can tell from the video. It's like Jimmy said in the case of Charlotte, hey, take it easy. He's not going anywhere. You could put a cop car on the other side. You could take your time. What she did was wrong, and now she's being charged with manslaughter. But I don't revel in that. It's not like, oh, let's go get Betty Shelby, right? And when after she shot him on the, she sounded panicked, like shots fired, right? And so I felt less bad for her as I read into the story, and it turns out she'd been arguing with him all along and was really mad that he wasn't following orders. And then I was like, oh, for God's sake, don't tell me you shot the guy because he disrespected you a little bit, right? Well, or you thought he disrespected you, but in fact, he was incoherent and probably didn't understand what you were saying.
The person next to her had a taser, shot him with a taser at the same time.
Yeah, so there was 1,000 other options. My point isn't, my point is generally that I'm not looking for vengeance against Betty Shelby. What I'm looking to do is fix the problem. For God's sake, make sure they're not shooting as a first option, that they're shooting as a last option.
And so to that point, there's no matter, Michael Wood is probably right to some extent, and obviously to Brett's point, justice is satisfying because it's some sense of justice. But there's no question that merely prosecuting people afterwards isn't going to make a huge difference. You have to be trained to handle that situation differently. And that means not decided by four guys whose closest relationship they have to a cop is that they know Jimmy and Jimmy's dad was a cop. Like, so obviously this is a job for, this is where presidential panels with authority matter. You bring people together, you learn, you study it, and then you force it down every police agency's throat with the full power of the federal government. You don't let them say, we don't do things like that in, I'll use Tennessee as an example here. We don't do things like that here. You don't let Joe Arpaio say, no, we got our own training here and it works just fine. You force them to do it, and you withhold federal funds if they don't do it, and you make those federal funds hurt. And then all of a sudden, 20 years from now, hopefully we're killing significantly less innocent people.
So just did one thing about that, you felt sorry for her, and then you found out she was arguing. I also found out from Sean King's reporting that she had a medical bag in her trunk, and she didn't do anything to help him. She just let him lay there.
Yeah, that's the thing so let me be super clear about that. Anybody who saw my reaction to the video on the day that it came out knows how angry I was about it. And the thing that I got most angry about was, for God's sake, you let him lie down for minutes on end when you didn't help him. He's bleeding out. After you shot him, for at least be human for a second and stop worrying about yourself and worry about the guy bleeding to death on the ground. So in fact, I'll now get tougher on the opposite side and say they should consider charges against the 3 cops who didn't do anything to help that dying man. Because we need to also impress upon the cops, and I'm not saying arrest them, I'm saying at least have disciplinary action. When someone is dying, you're a cop, you're supposed to help them, even if you were in a confrontation with them.
Right. If you're a cop and you're a first responder to some other kind of situation, and you're trained in first aid, and you're probably supposed to administer that aid, this is still a medical emergency. Do something.
Are they trained?
A lot of the protocols that I was researching said that the person who shot just needs to step back, go over there. When the supervisor shows up, give them your gun. And then you need to go to the lab to do toxicology reports.
Right.
That's all fine, but there's 4 cops there.
The rest of them need
Somebody get on there, stop the bleeding, stop the bleeding.
And I
go.
I saw a British website that's the first thing you do as a police officer after you shoot someone is administer first aid.
And by the way, that's why a lot less people die in Europe, because the cops are trained right. They're trained not to shoot at first sight. In fact, at an absolute last resort, you're only supposed to shoot if you're fairly certain that you're about to be shot. Which is a totally different standard. Here in America, most of the police departments are, there's a threat, put it down, okay? So now, by the way, to credit and discredit to Oklahoma, Oklahoma has one of the worst shootings by cops rate per capita. So their cops shoot unarmed men and civilians at a greater rate. I think they came in 6th last year in the country out of 50, obviously, and 4th this year so far. Something along those lines. You can go back and watch the video from earlier in the week to get the exact numbers. But on the other hand, to their credit, they took very quick action here. And I remember covering the story where Reserve Officer Robert Bates had shot Eric Harris. And he was 73 years old, and he liked to play cop. And he thought he was using his taser, but instead he used his gun and killed a guy, right? And there was a lot of oh, come on, he's an old timer and he was having fun and he was just trying to do the right thing. No, they prosecuted him for manslaughter. He got 4 years in prison.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. So credit to Oklahoma, they do prosecute folks.
Remember after that, he was going to go on a vacation right away afterwards?
Yeah, that's what he was, because he was wealthy.
Gonna go to the Bahamas.
That's right. But no,
super stressful day.
After you kill someone.
Yeah, but he was found guilty and got the max for that crime.
Fantastic. Here's the thing, but if you remember when that guy, after they shot that guy and he was laying there and he goes, I can't breathe. And do you remember what the other cop said?
No, I don't remember.
He said, fuck your breath.
That's what he said?
As that guy was dying.